Welcome to the Philantrepreneur Show, hosted by Dr. Victoria Boyd, designed to offer tips, strategies, and insight to empower nonprofits and entrepreneurs with sustainable win-win solutions. The Philantrepreneur Show is sponsored by the Philantrepreneur Foundation, building capacity through education and professional services.
And welcome and good morning to everyone. This is Dr. Victoria Boyd, and I'm the president and founder of the Philantrepreneur Foundation. And once again, we have another great show today that's full of tips, strategies, and insight for the business and nonprofit sectors. You know, I'm so excited about all of the wonderful things on the horizon. I mean, just things are just popping up. I can't contain myself. And then the whirlwind past couple of weeks I've had, wow, first, a little toot my own horn time. Yep, and, you know, they say you must embrace recognition and share your victories, help others see the scope of what still needs to be done out there. Anyway, this past week, well, at least now it's last week, okay, I was recognized by the Nevada Association of Women Business Owners, or NAVO as many of us know it, as a finalist for their Women of Distinction Award in the category of philanthropy and community service. I was really honored to even be mentioned among some of the outstanding, really outstanding women that were represented in their presentation. It was a great event with Alejandro Castillo. He's the National Director of Minority Business Development Agency with the U.S. Department of Commerce, as a keynote speaker, and she really presented some valuable insight into the power of the entrepreneurial spirit. And I have been talking about that for 2 or 3 years now, so really, I just loved it because it really tapped into just what the Philantrepreneur Foundation and what we stand for. Also, the Philantrepreneur Foundation Annual Conference, Impact Learning 2015, early bird registration is open. It opened May 5th, so make sure you get on there and grab your early bird discount because we will sell out. All of the information can be found at pfimpactlearning.info. Easy to remember, just PF, that's for Philantrepreneur Foundation, impactlearning.info. Also, connect with us on our website or through Facebook, Google+, Twitter, we have all of those different platforms. Because we're going to be planning some great contests and promotions, and they'll be starting soon. So getting off to that, talking about the conference, I want to say welcome to our newest sponsors, Shore Shop and 4NGO, and they're a web design company, and also the National Motor Club. I'm so honored that they felt that the conference and what we're doing here at the Philantrepreneur Foundation is worthy of their support. I really appreciate it. Okay, getting to today's show. A couple months ago, on the show, I talked about synchronicity. It just seems to be coming up in my life so often, and how so many great people just keep crossing my path. Well, it happened again. I was at a chamber meeting last month, and as usual, we have an opportunity to introduce ourselves to the group. Generally, I hate to say it, my mind is on the next meeting or task, and I'm sort of tuned out. But I was listening, and what caught my attention, this time I was sitting at the very next table, literally right next to me. A woman stood up and introduced herself. But instead of promoting her business, which, is sort of customary, she decided to talk about her passion for being a CASA. Now, CASA is a court-appointed special advocate for foster children. And if you remember, I'm on the board of the Foundation to Foster Empowerment. So just the mention of CASA sort of caught my attention. And it really, it was like seconds. I leaned over and handed her my card and just said, we need to meet. And before the meeting was even over, I hate to say it, I sort of pounced on it. But for some reason, I knew I needed to talk to her. What we discovered, we have many things that connect us, and we just started to talk. And instead of me babbling on, let me just introduce you to the next great person that synchronicity has brought across my path. So today's guest is Vicki Simons, owner of the Simons Group at Simply Vegas Real Estate, which services the Las Vegas Valley. We already know she is a CASA, but Vicki, please tell us more about your background and experiences that brought you to be passionate about your company and to work with fosters. Welcome to the show, Vicki.
Oh, thank you so much, Victoria. And, first of all, before we get started, I just have to congratulate you on your NABO Women of Distinction Award. It's just quite an honor to be a finalist, and I can tell you in the short time that I have known you, you definitely deserve that award. And I also have to tell your listeners that when this woman wants to meet you, boy, she meets you. Pounced is a good word for that, Victoria. There's just a definite determination, focus from her, and if you know what's best for you, then you'll do as she says. And so far, it has really led me to a great, great organization. And also, I am, when you were talking, Victoria, you were kind of going in and out on my phone. So if there's a problem and you can't, then please let me know and I'll try to call back on a different number. But the last thing we need are technical difficulties this morning.
I know. So, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I feel very fortunate that I just happened to talk about CASA at that meeting and that you just happened to be there to really help materialize a long passion of mine. And I remember you telling me that I needed to meet Heidi Anderson, and Heidi's the founder of the Foundation to Foster Empowerment. And her vision was to provide housing to foster youth who age out of the system, as well as job skills, continuing education, and really mental health support. And when you told me that, I remembered that I just had goosebumps. I had really been searching for a way to make a significant difference in the foster community, and I didn't really know how that was going to happen or how I was going to help. But, personally, I had some money tucked away in a Bible that was given to me by a really important person in my life who was my grandfather. And my grandfather happened to pass away on Christmas Day last year. So I put this money in the Bible and decided it was going to be startup money for some kind of nonprofit to honor him. And, I'm not a religious person at all. But honestly, I had faith that a need would present itself, which really goes against my type A personality and, everything. But I had some patience for once. And it paid off because 4 months later, there you were at the Fiesta Henderson offering this really great opportunity. And I can't thank you enough for this opportunity to share my story on your radio show and also get me involved with the Foundation to Foster Empowerment. So talk about synchronicity. And then after I was speaking with Heidi more, we realized that both of us lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where she went to high school. And, gosh, I lived and worked for years. And my family all lived in towns within 30 minutes of Tulsa. So it really is just such a great thing to come together. And I certainly don't think it's by chance. So, and I graduated, high school and college from the Tulsa area, and I went to work in public relations and marketing, and I just never thought that I would get into real estate. I was really happy in my corporate marketing job, and, that's the great thing. You just never know where life is going to take you. So I find following my heart and continuing through this path has really led me to great things. But the same thing with my husband. I met Bruce in Tulsa 21 years ago, and his family is originally from New York. So I was a sweet Oklahoma girl who married the New Yorker. But, my family still loves him anyway. And I must say that I just really got lucky. Yeah. I got one of the good ones for sure, and he allows me the freedom to explore all of my really unconventional and crazy ideas, and puts up with my 3 a.m. can't sleep, must write this down moment. So I realize how grateful I am there. But how we got to Las Vegas, Bruce's family had left New York years ago, and they were living in the Henderson area when we met. And I always loved to visit Las Vegas. But when we got married, I said to Bruce, I am never moving to Las Vegas, right? And he said, oh, of course, I don't want to move to Las Vegas. Well, never say never. Fast forward about 7 years into our marriage, and it just seemed right to make the move. And it's another one of those life moments where you just follow your heart. And when we moved, I decided to get my real estate license. It was just really so out of the box for me career-wise. I started during the real estate boom in 2004, and I really loved it because I was working with people to just help reach their goals. I grew up in a family of educators, and I think that I just innately enjoy helping people, and real estate gave me that need that my corporate marketing job just never did give me. So I love being an entrepreneur from that aspect for sure. And, I've seen almost every real estate market from boom to bust. It's been a tough 11 years in the business. I help people get really overpriced homes, which, as an industry, we just never really saw the bust coming. And then I sat at their kitchen table with them and helped them negotiate a short sale. And, many tears were shed. So, that's pretty much my story of how I got into real estate, which I fell into it. And most people you talk to that are in real estate say that they just happen to fall into it. And I just happened to fall the right way and absolutely loved it.
That's a key thing. And you talked about your passion and, how you love marketing, all of the different things. And those are key elements when you're going into any endeavor. And so, and you talked about many times, and I recognize you have two really powerful passions. And so let's sort of talk about your passion for real estate. So, we're going to talk about real estate, but also connecting it to the foster children. So how did you get involved in helping the foster children, being a CASA?
Well, it was 2011, actually. I'll never forget it. It was a time when I think my advocacy for others was really activated. I was helping people get out of really bad situations from a real estate perspective, and I felt fortunate and really even guilty that I wasn't in a financial hardship. Sounds kind of crazy, but it was just a time of further self-discovery for me because I was working with these people who were going through so much. And oddly, I even felt a little victimized as well. And a mentor of mine, he said to me, Vicki, just go contribute to something bigger than yourself. Volunteer, donate money, or just do something. And I must say I didn't really like that response. I didn't take that advice well at all. And I pondered on it for a while, several months. But he was right. And that seems to kind of be the state and the advice that I give people who are stuck, who feel like they're victimized. Go do something that's bigger than yourself. Go help someone else, and you'll get so much back from it. And I called the CASA organization, and really the rest is history. I can't say enough good things about the CASA organization, which, that it stands for a court-appointed special advocate. And, they have almost 400 volunteers in the Valley that go out and advocate for these children that are in foster care. Now, we've got 3,000 children who are in foster care in Clark County, so we need even more volunteers to do this. But what makes the CASA program so unique is that they are not paid. They get to follow the child through the entire foster care system. So when the child changes homes or changes caseworkers, and the CASA volunteer is there, gets to know the child, and then gets to advocate for them in court. And the goal is either reunification or guardianship, or often termination of parental rights and adoption, or aging out of the system, which is really the area that I'm focusing on with this new foundation.
Yeah. And what two things that really struck me, or I paid attention in your comments just now, is that you really loved helping people get out of tough situations. In your real estate business, when you're saying you've been helping them through the short sales, during the bust, you were helping people get out of tough situations. And today with the fosters, because these are the aging out kids that really are going from one situation into another tough situation, that are leaving them, a lot of them, sort of homeless and helpless. So I see a thread that's running for you here. that you like those challenges.
Right. Yeah, no, I love that challenge. And also, just to have someone have your back, right? I mean, everyone out there has someone who has their back. And, one of the reasons that, I even contacted CASA is because I grew up in a single-parent home. And, along with my mom, my grandparents, and my aunt were so significant in helping have my back in my childhood. And I really felt a strong desire to pay it forward once I started looking for, an organization to help outside of myself. That's really how I decided on the CASA Foundation and the foster care community. And, I didn't have even close to the life that these children have in the foster care industry or, being in foster care. But I do know what it feels like for someone to have your back. And if I can do that for someone else, whether it's foster care or my business in real estate, then that's what I love.
Yeah. And I'm sensing that that's why it's important for you to help these young adults. Is that correct?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So let's talk more about some of the critical needs of the fosters, because we've been talking about it, internally in the foundation as we talk about programs and strategies. But some people and some of our listeners really might not realize or even understand the scope of what is in the world of being a foster in today's society. So what are some of the critical needs of these fosters?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you to start with even statistics, just to give the listeners an idea. Foster children are 25% more likely to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder than people not in the foster care industry. 24% is in depression, 43% for anxiety. 11% for addiction and alcoholism, and males that are convicted of a crime, 60%, and really the one that bleeds my heart the most is homeless for more than one day. 22% of these foster children will be homeless for more than one day, and being in the real estate business, that's something that I would love to make a dent in personally. And, being in the foster care system, it really presents its own set of challenges, that really contribute to these statistics that I've just given. But being away from what you are familiar with, even if it's not in your best interest, just creates an emotional void that is incomprehensible. I've experienced a 1-year-old boy clinging to his car seat, not wanting to go into a foster home, all the way to a preteen running away, a 7th grade student who couldn't read at even a kindergarten level. And then, there's a 5th grader in foster care I've worked with who was in the gifted program at school. So these children are all unique, and just like your own children at home, it's hard to put a statistic on a face when you're working with them in the industry. But I think that each one presents their own needs. They need food, they need shelter, they need clothing, they need education, they need these basic needs. But what they really crave the most, or they either push it away, is love and trust. That's really the piece that they need the most that they're not getting. An average foster, an average foster child in the system, if you can just imagine being, 10 years old or younger and dealing with 3 caseworkers at one time while you're in the system, 3 therapists, 7 different foster homes or 5 different schools, going to a school not even just every year, but having to change schools mid-year because you've changed foster homes. So they have different basic skills workers. They could have maybe 5 different workers, 2 different judges that they don't even really understand the court system, and 2 attorneys that are representing them. So they have all of these people who are coming in and out of their life, but they only have one CASA, who's going to follow through with them through the end and be there and have their back. And that's one of the reasons why the CASA program is so important. But their needs vary. I've let foster parents know a child doesn't like tomatoes, because they're afraid to speak up in a new home. I've bought poster boards for school projects and advocated in court for them to go home or get increased visitation with a family member. And, all of their needs are just so important, even the small needs, like, the tomatoes. The tomatoes are important to a child. and
yes.
That is, it is. And that's what is, that emotional void is what is making the statistics what they are. And, 1 in 5 is going to be homeless. Half will be employed at the age of 24. There are just so many numbers and so many statistics that identify foster children. But I think my point that I'm trying to make in the critical needs of the foster children are that they each have individual unique needs. And if we can provide the housing for them, then we can give them the options to explore their true meaning, their true desire, and really help them get on the right path of going forward and having a prosperous life.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the statistics, and we had a conversation a few days ago about it. And many of our listeners might not realize, because we hear a lot about the veterans and some of their problems, their PTSD and things like that. But the foster statistics in almost every category are 50% higher. And I don't think people realize that just the levels of those impacted by PTSD is 1 in 4, where it's less than veterans. Not that I'm discounting all of the trials and tribulations and the challenges that veterans have, but the fosters are impacted by all of those things at a higher degree. And so there is, unfortunately, a greater need. And I'm just so glad that the Foundation to Foster Empowerment is looking at a way to help alleviate maybe not all of those symptoms, but at least 2 or 3 of them to help impact and go forward. So we've been talking about programs, so let's talk a little bit about the programs, because I know you I have talked to youth build. Just going into a little bit about that teaming up that we're doing with youth build.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited because, the foundation can also, definitely provide housing, which is a huge gap, but we're really wanting to team with other organizations who have proven programs. And one of the ones that we are teaming with here locally is Youth Build. And Youth Build is affiliated with the Nevada Workforce Connection, and they teach young adults the construction trade and make sure that they have their high school proficiency and help them with college credit. They offer a counseling component as well. And it's a 9-month program of about 30 to 40 students and 3 counselors. They just have an amazing program that really gets kids on their feet. And we're really excited to be able to partner with them and have our foundation work with Youth Build to just really get everything on its feet. And I truly believe we are better in numbers. And if we come together as a community and work with other programs, too, that help these students and provide options, then we'll be doing the right thing. We'll be doing the right thing. And
it's just you and I. Literally, we've only known about each other maybe 7 weeks, 7 or 8.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like we have just forged this path, or just because I know we've met with you still. And we've just had these extensive conversations, and honestly, it feels like I've known you for a few years now, and I'm just excited about the progress, or at least the potential of what we see down the road. And we're going to come back after a quick commercial break and really talk about your business and what role, and it's an important role, and how others can help have an important role in what we're envisioning. So we'll be back shortly after these commercials.
The Philantrepreneur Foundation. Build your capacity with our educational programs and professional services. Learn how to be a philantrepreneur. Maximize your social impact and maximize your revenue. Visit thephilantrepreneur.com or philantrepreneurfoundation.org to find services, resources, and training to launch, enhance, or improve your business or nonprofit strategy. While there, sign up to receive the Philantrepreneur Journal digital publication. Today's Philantrepreneur Show tip.
Yes, every show we bring a tip, and many have said that email communication is a dying art, that people aren't opening, and it's not good for business and nonprofits anymore. However, according to Every Action, which is a company that supports nonprofits with different software and platforms, email continues to grow in influence every year. In 2014, nonprofits increased their open rates by 4% and grew their list by 11%, while globally, total email accounts swelled to an astonishing 4.1 billion. Obviously, email remains an integral part of any nonprofit's toolkit, and I want to say also entrepreneurs. So it looks to be set as a viable communication and marketing method for some time yet. So don't discount your email account.
The Philantrepreneur Journal, a quarterly digital publication reaching over 600,000 entrepreneurs and nonprofits. Get targeted exposure to reach your ideal customer with our unique Ads for a Cause, where 50% of the fee goes to support our nonprofit training and services programs. Together, we can make a difference, create impact, and build capacity. Visit thephilantrepreneur.com, Marketing Ads tab for all the details. Mention this show and get a 10% discount.
Okay, Okay, welcome back as we continue with Vicki Simons, owner of the Simons Group, which is a Simply Vegas real estate for company. One of the great things I really liked about Vicki, she immediately saw and understood how her business and her passion, because basically they're totally connected, but she really saw it. To me, she's a true example of what a philantrepreneur stands for. So that's why I was so excited to have her on the show. She's a philantrepreneur. So, Vicki, what makes your business different from other companies?
Oh, gosh. Well, my real estate business, it really has very different goals from my passion of helping foster youth. And the core foundation is the same. And, of course, when you line up realtors, the realtors are like car dealers and attorneys. They're the last people that you want to talk to, right? So unless you absolutely need them. And I understand that, and I understand that the profession is not as well respected as it could be, or as it should be, I should say. So I've really tried to get outside of the box with that. And I use value-based marketing and try to provide as much service and as much information to my clients as possible. And for my personal business, I work 95% by referral. So, I have a core client list, and I continue to get great business from all of my referrals. And I think no matter what business you're in, that is definitely the way to work. You mentioned the email account in your tip, and it's one of my most successful marketing tactics. I do a home and news of the week every Friday that goes out to my clients, and they love it. It's just information that they can see, plus they get to see all of the really great homes that are for sale in the Las Vegas Valley, and it just keeps me in touch with my clients. But I will tell you that, my selling clients, they do hire me because I use a unique out-of-the-box marketing to get their home sold. We stage properties, and it just doesn't matter if you've got a $2 million home or a $200,000 home. I'm going to provide the same marketing and services to each home to get the highest price. And yeah, absolutely. And I think also it ties in so much with the foundation core foundation, I should say, in that I really seek to understand the way that buyers think and understand, and then I use my clients' competitive uniqueness with their homes to get that highest price for their home. And it's just marketing. It's basic marketing 101 with the 4 Ps of marketing, and then with that, I provide the value-based support. We have a buyer's resource book. We also do Vicki's Black Book, which is a list of service providers that are preferred in the Valley, because it ties with real estate, and my clients are constantly calling and saying, "Hey, do you have a great painter or a contractor?" So I just decided to put together a database of these people to provide to my clients. And then we also thank our clients with a referral rewards program. I think it's so important, if you're working by referral, to reward these referrals. When someone gives us a referral, we give them a $10 Starbucks gift card and a little blue ticket. And then on Thanksgiving Day, straight from my kitchen, I video the drawing of one of the blue tickets for $1,000. So
okay.
it's just something small that I can give back to my clients, and someone benefits on Thanksgiving Day, right before the holiday season, and it's something fun that I enjoy doing.
And you really have embraced adding giving on all levels of what you do. So maybe it has come from your company, but what has your company taught you?
Oh gosh, I would say the single most important thing that my company has taught me is to have heart, and that requires being vulnerable, like today on your radio show, right?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Right. There was a time, when I tried to keep my business very separate from my personal life. And just really for me, I had a business and then I had my personal life. And what happened was my business felt really rigid. It felt like a lot of work. And when I finally gave in to my heart, I started living really my passion and building the business around it. And you'll find that my passion still has a core foundation, and really that's what I built my business on, and that comes from my heart. And that decision to work from my heart was a huge turning point for me.
Absolutely. I totally relate to that. A while back I wrote a blog about how you will never be satisfied if you don't let passion and purpose infiltrate everything you do in your work, whether it's your personal life, or in your life, I should say, whether it's your business, your career, your personal life. You have to have your passion and your purpose be one of the core values of how things and what path you take as you evolve and change as a person, in society. So you were validating a lot of what I have believed and some of the tenets that the whole Philantrepreneur Foundation was developed on, was putting and looking to your you values, which are your purpose and your passion, to then create the compass for the path that you're going to take in the future. That I wrote about that in my book, The Wealthy Teacher, answering the question, what's next? That you look at your you values first before you do anything else. Otherwise, you'll always be unsatisfied. You'll always be looking for the next thing to keep you interested or just moving forward. I love that you talk about that you saw that you needed to go back to your passion and purpose. I mean, that's a great lesson to learn. And you've been able to, really just use it so well with your business. So we talked about the Fosters and some of their needs. We talked about the value of your business in the community. So how will you use, and I guess how will we use, because we're a partner here, your business to play an important role in supporting these fosters in the future?
Right. Yeah, and yeah, we've touched on it so much, but and that's why I'm so excited about this foundation and this opportunity with the Empower Tool School. I just always thought it would be great to provide housing to those who are in need, but I really never thought it was possible. Habitat for Humanity is doing a great service, and that was my only exposure to really real estate benefiting a greater purpose. But with Heidi's vision in Phoenix and the team that we've established here in Las Vegas and in Phoenix, I know that the Empower Tool Schools will fill a huge gap in establishing housing for foster youth who age out of the system. And I'm just excited to be able to use my real estate knowledge and experience to secure the housing for the schools and even use as a funding for the programs. So, homes can be donated, which provides the owner with a much-needed tax write-off. And we also work with investors to purchase these homes to provide cash to the foundation for the programs and the living expenses. So it benefits in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. I know we have the vision there, and now I guess we need to really communicate all of the benefits, not to the fosters, but to those that support us. You be in the real estate sector and really understanding it you're going to, in the future, really be laying out, I would say, real estate programs for investors and methods to donate so that others can really have an impact by supporting what we're doing. And it's just so great that we're also going to be an educational tool through the real estate sector. So I'm always throwing everything into that educational arena. But I just the potential of showing others how to use their real estate to benefit the community is going to be great. It's going to be a great service across many different sectors. I can see it.
Right.
I mean, so we've covered a lot of things here with your experience and work with the Fosters, building a successful company. And I know we have a lot of listeners out there that are probably wondering, what can I do or how can I help right now? But what would be some of your suggestions or takeaways that you offer from your particular viewpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, I think my biggest thing that I'd love to leave with listeners is that really every one of us can take something that we know and apply it to help someone else with something that we are passionate about. And it doesn't matter if you're passionate about real estate or education or animals. We can, everyone can make a difference. And if it's helping young adults with job and life skills or supporting as a volunteer, becoming a sponsor or individual donor, we can all make a difference. And we would love to work with anyone who has that passion for foster care, or even if it's not, maybe they have a passion for real estate or bringing, job opportunities to young adults. We would love the opportunity to work with anyone who has that same passion. And I always think that if you just follow your heart, the rest is just a little bit easier.
Absolutely. I mean, yes. What more can we say? You basically outline what being a philantrepreneur is. Take your business and use what you're passionate about and see where your skills and your assets can support and help the community. That's truly the real meaning of being a philantrepreneur. We are just launching the whole Empower Tool School here in Las Vegas, and I'm so excited. We do have a Facebook page already, which is
I know.
Literally, I mean, we are running probably about 100 miles an hour down this path, but we want people to just start remembering and getting connected to it. So, Vicki, I'll let you tell everyone out in the radio land who's listening to us how they can reach out to you and us to support both of us, or someone might need to sell their home or buy a home and reach out to your company. So tell us how we can reach you.
Absolutely. We are, they can reach me through my business. I apologize if you can hear that beeping noise, but they can reach me through my business email at Vicki, VICKI, at getvegashomes.com. That's GET, Vegas, homes with an S.com. And you could also reach me directly via phone at 702-266-7193. And also go to our Facebook page. My goodness, we literally just put it up, and we definitely would love to get some likes and some interest, because we're going to be continuing this conversation, and of course this program will continue to evolve, and we would love to get people to find, to help us. And the website for that, of course, it's facebook.com, and you can either search for Las Vegas Empower Tool School, or go directly to facebook.com/LVEGS Empower Tool School. And like us, you can start a communication there and be able to reach anyone through the foundation through that website as well.
Absolutely. And if they also want to connect to the main website, which is Foundation to Foster Empowerment, there's a Facebook page for them. So they should sort of connect, because we're going to be a network. We're starting in Arizona and Las Vegas. So they'll want to connect to both so that they make sure they get all of the information that's going to be coming down the pipeline. Could you just talk about investors a little bit more, to anyone that might be interested in the whole real estate side, what we're looking for in terms of investors?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, if anyone knows of, if anyone has this situation or knows of anyone who has a situation, we would certainly be interested. We're looking for people who, and mainly it's estates, who are looking for a tax write-off for a home, possibly that they have a home that's in need of repairs and it's just a burden to the owner. And we're also looking for bank contacts to donate foreclosed homes as well. And so how that process would work is someone has a burden that's really a liability and would like to have a tax write-off on it. They can donate it to the foundation, and in turn, we find investors who would purchase the property, and then the home may not go even into the foundation, but an investor benefits from that because they get a home maybe at a reduced price, and then the money goes directly to the foundation that we can use for just to get the program back up and running. We are also looking for donations of homes, for these Empower Tool schools, and anything that would house 6 children, or they're not children, they're young adults, 5 or 6 young adults, and that we can use as core homes for housing for the aged out foster youth.
Absolutely. So we just want everyone to know that we will have a website that should launch, and I won't give an exact date, but let's say within the next 30 days, the Las Vegas website of F2FELV.org, Foundation to Foster Empowerment, Las Vegas, .org. That will launch. It will have a lot more information on the whole real estate process, the benefits to either donors or investors. It will have just the information. It will be the resource to learn more about it. And we encourage everyone to really just stay tuned on the Facebook page right now, because we'll do a big launch of when that website will go live. And we're just both excited because things are really coming together, and we're excited to be able to help the fosters that really, really need the whole community to stand behind them at this point. Well, Vicki, this has been absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad you had the opportunity and the time to come on the show today. I think we shared a lot of information that not only who we're trying to support, which is the aging out fosters, but also we're helping the real estate community by helping those that have real estate that is really a burden to them. So we're on two sides of the system in terms of helping people out of challenges, which was some of your opening statements when we first started. So thank you, Vicki Simons of Simons Real Estate Group, or the Simply Vegas Group, for being on the show today. I'm sure I'll have you on in the future, and it was such a pleasure having you on the show today.
Oh, thank you so much. It was such an honor to be on the show and get out the message, and I can't wait to see where this foundation goes, and I wish all of your listeners the best of luck in being a philantrepreneur as well, and certainly with your help, because you just, in the short time that I have known you, like you said, I feel like we've known each other for years, and you are such a go-getter and such a resource for me personally with this nonprofit, and I just really appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, and you have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, everyone, the listeners, remember, you need to mark your calendar and save the date, October 26th through 28th, 2015, for Impact Learning 2015. It's 3 days and 2 topics. Day 1, Impact Marketing, featuring Michael Drew and Kellen Kosman. Jam-packed full of marketing tips and strategies. Day 2 and 3 is Social Enterprise for Nonprofits. The only way to be self-sustaining and have impact in the future is to learn how to create your own earned income, which is unrestricted funds. All of the details can be found at http://pfimpactlearning.info. You'll see registration is open and all the events and things that are happening. Early bird registration is right now, so get in there today. Get the discount because space is limited, and I'm sure we're going to sell out. Remember, like the Philantrepreneur on Facebook, opt in on the website, and we will be running contests, features, and offering scholarships for organizations. However, you must be a follower in order to participate. On our show next time, June 3rd, we will welcome Richard Carson. He's the Michigan director of My Brother's Keeper, a presidential program to support and build the potential of youth. So, until next time, this is Victoria Boyd enthusiastically saying, have a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Philantrepreneur Radio Show, hosted by Dr. Victoria Boyd. Get involved. Follow us on Facebook and other social media outlets. If you wish to share comments or suggestions or appear as a guest on our show, visit www.thephilantrepreneur.com. Contact Victoria Boyd. Email her at theboyd@thephilantrepreneur.com. The Philantrepreneur Radio Show is a production of and sponsored by the Philantrepreneur Foundation, a 501c3 tax-deductible organization.